Hey guys, I wanted to do my brief thoughts on BattleBits. This game I had kind of seen in the background floating around, haven't really looked into it much, but I decided to give it a try. From the start, it feels very similar to like a Battlefield 2, Battlefield 1942, something I grew up playing. You choose a map, you choose your class, and you spawn on either a commander or in set spawn points, and you try to go onto a conquest mode. What I found to be pretty unique about this was that it has an option of up to 127 versus 127 players. Even with Battlefield 2, which I usually consider kind of the pinnacle of this game style, that was only 64 against 64 max. Normally, for these kinds of games, I play a recon role or an assault role. Sometimes I'll play a combat medic or a support, but I really don't like the general weapon selection that's given to those. So I started out doing what I always do, picking a recon, hopping in a vehicle, and deciding to go and find a spot to perch up. The big downside I found was that I'm not used to driving vehicles anymore. It's probably been about a decade since I've played a game that actually had vehicle controls that felt like this. As you can see, the terrain is a bit bumpy. The controls actually feel really good. It's just been a hot minute since I've actually played a game where they have felt like this. Usually they will feel sluggish in some games, but they'll feel real quick and tight in others. This was actually a perfect middle ground that I just was not used to. So for playing a recon role, it took me a few minutes to kind of figure out the nuances that they have in this game compared to a lot of modern shooters. Bullet drop is actually a thing that comes into play, and then you actually have to rack the slide manually on a bolt action after every shot, which is kind of a neat feature, but if you're not aware of it, it's going to catch you off guard and you're going to go to take a second shot and it will not go. You'll be racking that slide. This is where one of my other criticisms kind of comes into play as well. Now that you're in the fight, you can kind of hear the bullets flying around, and they don't sound that good. I'm hoping that since this is early access, that's something they're going to work on. I did swap to an assault class to see how that felt, and it felt even better than the recon class. The game does use hit markers, which I know are kind of controversial for any first person shooter. I like them in this type of game where it's more of a jump in, jump out. It's not a tactical mil sim or anything like that. This, of course, leads into the art style. It's blocky, the textures are not finely detailed or anything like that. But, for this style of game, I kind of like that. I don't need to see, like, the individual patches of dirt on things. So, this works out really well. Most of the environment, as you can see, is actually what would be really blocky things in real life. Shipping containers, buildings, stuff like that. And it allows the devs to have a fairly destructible environment, which is really cool for a game that allows this many people to be playing on a single map at once. The game actually does have lean mechanics, which is really nice coming from Tarkov into playing this. The only problem I have with that is that they have some action keys bound to the number 3 when I'm used to F and E in Tarkov. The map screen is pretty default style map for like a Battlefield type game, and this doesn't really build too much on that. I don't know if you really can. If you get downed, a teammate can come and pick you up, or you can just fast death to respawn, but that does cost tickets if you are in the conquest mode. You can spawn from a set spawn base, team vehicles, or even a squad member. From the respawn screen, you can actually go into weapon loadouts, and you can change these in pretty interesting ways. This is something that I haven't seen in a Battlefield type game. Based on kills, you can unlock different modules, stuff like that. That's been in past Battlefield games, but not to the extent that this game seems to have. And I think that's the devs pouring a lot of time into that side of it and the mechanics of the game rather than the visuals. And I kind of appreciate that. Spawning in team vehicles is a nice way to get back into the action fast if you're dealing with a big counter push that's pushed you off of a objective, or if your squad got wiped. I hopped into a team vehicle here since I decided to hop back into the recon class, see if I could find a nice perch to line up some shots. For as blocky as the graphics are, the terrain and vegetation actually looks really good as well. So a criticism I do have here is that for as nice as everything feels, like the gunplay actually feels really nice, to crouch and hold my breath and try to line up a shot, I'm holding Control Shift and trying to line up the shot. It just feels a little wonky, and that might be an option that I just haven't found yet, to switch crouching to a toggle rather than a hold. This game, like I said, does use a progression similar to Battlefield. The more kills and experience you get, the more modules that you unlock for your guns, and the more guns you unlock for each class. You are awarded extra experience for things like long distance kills, headshots, grenade kills, stuff like that. At the end of the round, the game goes to a fade to white and gives you either a victory or a defeat screen. It also does a neat little slow-mo feature, which I kind of appreciate. This next match here is from a city map, because I wanted to have a city map versus kind of like a island base map. This map also highlighted a criticism that I didn't notice on the other map, and that might be because I wasn't as grouped tightly with my team. The game utilizes a death mic effect. So when you die, your microphone will actually activate for a short bit after the death, and it's meant so that way people can record or get a laugh out of you being frustrated or dying.
Bad news. We're both dying.
Help!
Tonight.
Help! 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 Help me! Help me!
Drone's coming down.
Help! We're all dead in here! Help!
9/11.
Help!
I know about the other
The
team.
towers are falling.
Pull me out.
This was an inside job.
Like 9/11.
This can actually be really funny no matter what side you're on, or it could be really annoying.
Oh, Tatum!
You have your legs. You have them. You have them. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good work. Let me heal you.
If you're not expecting it, you could walk around the corner and literally have your eardrums blown out by teammates screaming. Another criticism I have, and this is just a criticism of these types of games in general, are the choke points feel almost too few and too far in between. We're right now in basically a subway tunnel, and we are stuck on this lower ramp and have to grenade our ways out. If anyone wants to gain ground here, basically half the team has to go around a long way, and in that time we could get pushed out of the subway and lose the points that we were defending. The flip side is this also creates great opportunities for your teammates to be really good teammates. You know, if you've got a medic that goes down, if you've got a sniper that can actually do their job and take out the high priority targets on the enemy side, it can feel really good.
Tuwa.
A big selling point of this game, and as you saw in an earlier clip, is the environment is pretty destructible. The building we were in earlier, full collapsed. You can blow out parts of the walls. You can build actual blockades. As a support class, you get things like anti-personnel mines, snipers and recon class get claymores, and then the other classes get fun gadgets as well. And of course, like all the other Battlefield games, having teammates being willing to play those support classes to give those supplies is actually going to be key to winning a round. Overall, I think this game is a great pickup right now at the $15 that it is on Steam through early access. Especially if you're someone who grew up playing games like Battlefield 2, Battlefield 1942 in that early 2000s era. This game kind of scratches all those nostalgia itches that I've been waiting for a long time. Let me know what you guys think about BattleBits in the comments down below. Are the graphics not up to par? Do you think the gunplay isn't there? Hit the like button, subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching, guys.